afternoon, evening. Um, just finishing up doing. I was doing a run. I meant to start a recording. Um, like stop because I just finished a 5 run. Meant to stop it. We're not on 10. We're on 9, but we've got 9 at like 80%. Um, so with a little luck, we'll see how well this team kind of is supposed to work. You know, here in a second as we get to the boss. Uh, we've made some pretty good progress on missions. We're working our way through. We're basically today we're gonna do. Didn't have quite enough, but that's okay. Um, we're gonna do some summons a little bit later. Oh, we're gonna lose this one because they died. Sorry, I just noticed something and I need to check. What is his? So he's got the 100% crit rate because of element advantage. And his accuracy 61. I'm not sure why he missed so badly unless it's not 100% on him. That's okay. Again, it happens. Let's see. Nope, he just got an unlucky glance there. That's okay. On missions, we're up to 146. We did do a quick 3 pull earlier to get past one way down here somewhere. This one. I was like, I could record that one, but I don't know that it's necessarily important enough to record. And then, of course, I pulled 2 4 stars. I pulled this guy, and I pulled another one of these guys. I pulled another one of him. So, not horrible. He's actually pretty good. All the gunslingers are pretty good. 2 hit on attack 1, same as the fire. This one, same as the fire. 1 hit, applies mark, doesn't glance, deals increased damage to bosses. Or, I don't remember, I don't think the fire one has that part. The bosses or part. I don't think the fire one has that part. But then he's got this, which I've not quite figured out yet. Attack an enemy twice with a chance to remove a buff, increase attack action bars of all allies, and if it removes a buff, grant everybody in a stack to nullify. This is actually the new version of this skill. It used to be a very different skill. So I'm not really sure what content I'm going to bring him into. Clearly, maybe a PvP situation. I don't know. But yeah, so we popped up this. I wanted to wait until after weekly arena because I wanted to make sure that I claimed this one. Now I will point out this doesn't trigger because you'll get a little pop up. I should have recorded that. Oh well, you get a little pop up that says weekly arena tally blah blah blah. It doesn't trigger when you hit OK there. It triggers when you gather from your inbox. And if you claim it before you get to this mission, because this mission has to be active. Sorry, this one. Because this mission has to be active, if you claim it before you get to that mission, then you have to wait a whole other week, and I didn't want to do that. And so we've got some fissioning to do here. We got some summons to run. We have picked up some more decent gear, not great. We're about 80-90% on B9. I consistently am doing 5-point runs without too much trouble. And some of you're going to look at some of these gears and go, why are you bothering to level that? That was not a great gear. This was actually pretty decent for purple. And the answer to that is even if the gear's not great at the moment, A, we don't have a lot of other choices, but B, the current event, one of the events right now is progress. It's one of the 2-day events, the pop-up events, and this one is all about enhancing gears. And we're at the point where we need as much various resources we can get, and so we're trying to complete this so we can get, all that other stuff. And down here they have energy reductions, which are great. So we're going to end up buying some of these crazy dungeon ones because that's where we're focused right now. Later we'll want these, and later we'll want those when we are going to focus on those more often. But right now we're going to load up on the energy past crazy dungeons because it reduces the energy even further, which is good. This one, we're at 5,000, a little over 5,000 points. So we're going to nail this one pretty easily. I don't care about this one as much. I do care about the batteries. It's the only thing I care about down there. Up here, literally we only have one gear that meets that requirement at the moment, because the rest of them are leveled. 4-star or above 200 times, we get 5 more summons and 11 more gears. Interesting. Oh, and we got one here for Anonymous, B3. So let's do a little, yes, we're going to do summons, but let's come to Anonymous real quick. What's our current Anonymous team? Our current Anonymous team does not have gear on it. Well, that's not good. Okay, so this one is about denying him turns and using and gaining turns on your own as much as possible. Is he immune to DOT? He's not. So, and he does not. He does his personal speed buff, and that's it. So we might be able to actually bang bang. We might be able to bang bang this one like that. Okay, these guys all have gear. It's just her. She's here specifically just to slow him down. Her skill 3 slows them down. She does not need. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to give her just a bunch of this gear. It is not the gear that is going to stay on her. I just need her to be pretty speedy. Oops, that was the speed one. Not the other one was HP. And I don't really care at the moment if she does anything other than speed. This one might roll into speed. Please speed. Nope. 9 speed's not horrible. So sure. And we're going to put these on her just to increase her. Ew, it's a flat stat. We don't want a flat stat on that. This one we sell. And I want her to have accuracy, which means I'm left with, actually, pop. Come off of that and go into accuracy real quick. Is there better accuracy one? That's a good question. So basically what I want to do is I just want to get her fast. That's it. And if I can get her fast enough with good enough accuracy, and so we can just do this because I don't have the other one. The rest of it we're going to let, that's an awful roll. That's an awful rune. Awful rune. We're just going to let her go first and let her keep people down as much as possible. The other stats don't matter near as much as these two for her right now. We're using 2 sets of this, and I would be using 3 if I had a third one there. That was worth a diggity daffodil. Actually, do I have one on somebody that I can just yoink that has speed on it? Nope. Okay. So we're going to raise everybody else's by 16%, 2/8, and then broken, of course. So she's here to make these guys do more damage, these two in particular, and he's there to make these two go faster, and they should, with a little bit of luck. And it's only B3, so it shouldn't be that hard. Okay, so notice some speed tuning problems right there. Yeah, they're destroying B3. Of course they are. Duh. Little speed tuning problem. He's going before he is. That's an issue a little bit. See, there's the speed down that we wanted. You know what? I put this on B3. Let's take it off repeat, because this team might actually go a little higher. We'll see. We'll see how the boss handles it, right? But that's kind of the idea behind this team, is I'm just stealing my DOT blow-ups, and I'm trying to keep his speed down a little bit, because he is a very fast, and one of his buddies here actually increases the action bar, which is this one. I don't want him to get speed up, and I don't want him to get action bar if I can help it. So this is actually not a good core, these 3, but it's the core that I have at the moment, you know. Those are all gross. I'll take that one. It's got speed on it. So we will go. We'll have to run that. They just opened that one as a 2-day pop-up as well. Good to know. But that's what we're going to try to do with that. So we can get as high up in there as we can. Then that'll give us some... on this one, then this lets us target specific. This is the one we want because ambush ignores defense. 25% ignore defense with a 4 set, which is really good. We also want Twilight Shards and maybe some Summon Illyriums just because, right? Why not, you know? Oop, 3 more summons. We're at 19 currently. I'll spend 100. There's 6,800 points available in this event, and these are all worth 1,000, so I might as well pick up to make an even 20 summons, just like planned. I didn't plan anything, guys. Sorry. You know me. I don't plan nothing. What are we on our Twilights? Still super low on Twilights because we haven't pulled them any. So we'll pull the Twilight first. Usually we pull it last. Please, Light Popo. Light Popo? Light Hog Chef. We already have one of those. Oh, well. So again, we still want to do some witch hunting. Still looking for those witches. Little twitchy witchy. I'll take, anything new, of course. But those light witches... Full 3-star set. Okay. It had to happen. It's got to go on sometime, right? You're going to get a full 3-star sometimes. Hope we don't get 2 back-to-back 10 pulls. Nope, we got a lightning in there. Or not lightning. Wrong game. Yellow laser. Ooh. We got us a red bear. They got a little bit of nerf in this last patch. All the bears did. Damage now is only increased by HP on these instead of attack as well. He's really weird in that he does not take damage and he does not take healing until the end of his turn. So everything that happens between his turns gets delayed until the end of his turn, which means you build him super, super tanky anyway, and then if he can kill something with his skill 2 and gain unyield, he just doesn't die, and then you can heal him back up. Or he gets healed back up, yeah. He's an interesting unit. He can be a problem to fight against. Something that's really interesting about this unit that I discovered while fighting him is that if you Oblivion him, which means it turns his passive off, the damage that's delayed just never occurs. It just disappears. So if you're going to Oblivion this unit, which is usually a good idea because you want him to die, if you're going to Oblivion this unit, you need to Oblivion it before you do a bunch of damage. Otherwise, that damage just goes away. Conversely, he's really, really good to just load him up on a bunch of HP and bring him into any AI-controlled unit. So not Live Arena. Wait, is Live Arena's autoed? I don't remember. I haven't played Live Arena a lot since it was released recently. But bring him into anything that's got water units, and if he's the only fire, they should be targeting him. And so you can just let him absorb a bunch of those things because he's a great damage sponge. He's a tank. It says Nuker Escape, but this passive kind of makes him a tank. So if you can wipe out all the units on the field before his turn comes up, the damage goes away. So it's really interesting. He's a very interesting unit. All right, let's look at here real quick. So we've got one of each in the 5 stars, but we have no witches. So which witch do we want to pull for? Which witch? We can't pull for a light dark one. So let's take a look. Water witch becomes speed lead. Skill 1 is damage over turn and double cast. I did do testing. It does not continue over and over. It's just once more through that skill without repeating the last line, which makes sense, as it should be. Skill 2 attacks everybody, so AoE attack down and defense down, and then increase attachment bar. Okay, so that was a typo, because if you remember in the notice, Woo! Load, please. If you remember in the notice, oh, nope, nope, nope. That was the last one. The one before. I want that one. Please. Thank you. If you remember in this one, they said attack up, defense up. And I was like, it can't, that doesn't make sense, remember? Well, it's good to know that was indeed a typo. Because here it is attack down and defense down, which sounds like a really strong skill to me personally. We can get it up to 70% chance for both, which is great. And then again, sticking her in with a dot team, lots of dots, she should be gaining action bar a lot just from that skill. And it's a 3-turn cooldown, so it's not awful. Then this one steals buffs and max HP, reduce targets max. So yeah, this one is a cooldown reset for this ability. So this is going to be her nuke use, but she's mostly a disruptor, right? Lots of DOT, lots of attack down and defense down. Okay, so water could be fun. Fire, same skill 1. Skill 2 applies toxic and sleep. This is the anti-bear unit, because if they're already asleep, it ignores defense. And toxic reduces max HP, which means all those attacks that a bear has that does damage based on HP, well, you're reducing their max HP, you're reducing the amount of HP that they can hit you with, which is good. Yes, typically it's better to do just kill the thing or just hit its damage down, its health down really fast. But like the red bear specifically, or the light bear, toxic will just reduce its max HP. It's not damage, so it will take effect on the red bear. And that would be a reliable way to get its HP down while it is still not taking that damage. And then Cataclysm applies 2 damage over turns for 2 turns, then launches an attack, single target, increases damage by 30% for each debuff on the target, so that's good. And then if it's immune to DOT, increase damage by additional 50%. So this middle part here, increase damage by 30% for each debuff on the target, is the same as this one, right? Which she also gets on skill 1 at 6 star. So that's a great, she gets used a lot. That's a great skill piece to have there. And then if they're immune to DOT, increase damage an additional 50%. I did some testing on my other account because I have this one, and it does work like that for Abyss. I did notice that now I have her on. I have really good gear on my Fire Assassin on that account because he is my go-to anything that's not water, basically, in Abyss, because he deals a whole bunch of damage based on fallen units and things like that, and he ignores a bunch of defense based on how low his HP ratio is. So he is a fantastic unit, and her on crap gear was not exactly keeping up, but she was not as far behind in second place in my damage calculations as the other units I'd had in her spot. Now, because she doesn't do the DOTs and because they're immune to sleep, toxic, and DOT, she doesn't get a lot of use from the first 2 skills in Abyss, but this skill she did get quite a bit of use for. I kind of wish that this last part of this was actually just a passive for her and applied to all of her skills. I think that would have been a pretty decent there. You know, so basically 1, 2, 3 and a passive instead of 1, 2, 3 and a resistance lead. But she's I like her. The green one, same skill 1. Tackle enemies, applying. Okay, so this is the same as the water one. So we know how good that is. What's her passive? Whenever a debuff you apply is resisted, so that would be this resisted, or if this is resisted, reduce the resistance of all non-boss units on the battlefield by 10% up to 10 times. Whenever you successfully apply a debuff, inflict unresistible toxic. Ooh, we might want to pull for her. Because this one gets cast twice if it's resisted, which is, or immune, but I'm resisted specifically, right? Because this says resisted. So if if they've got on not nullify. Isn't nullifies the effect? The gear set. Zeal? I think Zeal's the set. The one that gives them immunity, right? So that would be resisted from the immunity buff. So then she gets cast this twice, and they lose overall resistance by 20%. Now notice, minus 10% resistance is 10% of, not 10% of what they have, but 10% as 10% of the number. I know that doesn't sound weird. That sounds weird. But, so, the resistance game in this is displayed as a percent number, and so you're just taking 10 off that number. You're not taking 10% of that number off, is what that means, according to a bunch of testing that I've seen people talking about. I don't have her, so I can't verify that, but that's, as I understand it, that's what that is. Which means you lower that number by 100%, but you do not lower that number by 100% of the number. So if they have 200% resistance and you hit them with this 10 times, they have 100% resistance because of the way resistance is built in this game and displayed in this game. That said, I can think of a lot of places this would be good, including Boxing Club, right? Because of not only the resistance part, but also just because of the toxic. But more importantly, Lost Tunnel. This would be great for Lost Tunnel, I think. And then we're not going to be able to pull for these guys because we don't have, well, you know. So I think do we pull for green or do we pull at random, right? Because I'd like any of them, to be perfectly honest. But I think the green is the one I would want the most out of the base 3 colors. Actually, this is the one, not only because purple is my favorite color, but this is the one that I would like the most out of all of them. And not just because purple is my favorite color, but, you know. Oh, we completed a quest. Oh, because we fissioned something. Mission, yep. Oh, we got one more regular fission. Let's purchase an power bean at the honor shop. While we debate which way we're going to do this. Thunk. Gives us an unripe. That's very nice. Level up element to 40 3 times. I have none of these because I just spent them to evolve some stuff. So, nope, not you. Okay. Do we do water? Do we do tree? Or do we just leave it up to random? Water, tree, or random? That's a good looking question. I think we pull tree, right? Because if we look at our bestiary, in water, let's look at the water 4 stars. We want her, we want him, and the rest of them are really good, and we want her. We want those 3 the most out of water right now. In fire, he's free, so even though we do want him, we'll get him in a minute anyway. We really just want the assassin and the witch. But in tree, we want the bookworm because he's better for farming. We want the tree gunslinger because he'll help us get a heavy foot into abyss. And we want her. So it's between, we want 3 from water and we want 3 from tree. And this will help our farming out and our arena a lot. This will help us get a toehold into abyss, which we desperately will need soon. And this is the one we're really targeting. Whereas in water, she's good for Lost Tunnel. She's good for certain boss runs until you have something that's just overwhelming damage. and she's good for PvP. We're not really concentrating on PvP at the moment, but she does party attack up and AoE defense down, which is what makes it, and she does mark. So, and he's really, really good in Lost Tunnel and Arena and some guild content. So these two are, we're not quite stable enough for guild content yet. I mean, we participate as best as we can, but so really these two, this one and this one would be the most useful out of water. We want her just because we will be needing her or using her later. And on this one, all three of these are good for content that we're currently trying to work through. He's going to be a better farmer. He's also good as a wave clearer in Boxing Club and a couple in like one or two other dungeons, if I remember correctly. He's also really, really good in Spreader in the Abyss. He's really, really good in the other two Abyss. He's not great in Spreader, but he's really good in Garbage Jungle and Radioactive Sea. Is that what it's called? I'll have to look. And then, of course, we're targeting her. So, yeah, I've convinced myself. Let's go tree. And then we're going to close our eyes and hop up and down and then hope. We know it's going to be gold because it's a 4. Yay! That's exactly what we were after. Amazing. Okay, so I'm super happy. Yeah, look at that. I'm just, my belief in getting it was so very low, and yet here we are. That's amazing. So toxic and defense, yeah. Ooh, we're only 12 away from this. Can we buy? We got a 140 there. Yeah, we can buy them both, can't we? Pop, pop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief it is. All right. So, we got the one. Can we snipe another one? I mean, it's only a 6% chance to even get a 4-star. So, let's talk reality. First off, in reality, we want Light Popo first. She's the one we really, really, really want. Because this skill deals so much extra damage, and this skill does so much extra damage that it's ridiculous. She's fantastic. We want like 4 of those. Actually, we want like 15 of them so we can have 3 of them fully stacked and fully skilled. We would like him. He's really good. We would like her. She's really good. And out of the other 3 stars, actually, all the 3 stars we're missing are good. He's a great healer. He's a good nuke heal. He is a fantastic team up if you can get it. He's a great support unit because he increases people's damage, which is cool. Plus, he also has a chance to grant mark on every attack. We're not even going to, we're going to hope for light or dark witch, but we will take any 4-star that's not one we already have. And even honestly, we'd take one we already have because they're cool. 3 stars we're missing here. We'll take any of them, of course. On this side, Dark Dome Fighter would be probably the one we want the most here because she does great stuns and stuff. He does a great kamikaze attack that you can build for. But really, we want to snipe the witches. Are we going to snipe the witches? No, it's only 6%. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm still going to close my eyes. Is it blue? Is it blue or is it pink? Purple? Nope, not purple. Okay, it was blue. What do we get? Oh, Light Dome Fighter. Okay, cool. She's really good. She can only ever take from a single hit, not a single skill, no more than 20% of her hit points, which means it takes at least 5 hits to kill her. So if you've got a unit that's doing 3, 4, 5 hits, and they're all strong enough to knock over 20% of her health, it will at least chunk her down 20, 40, 60, 80%, depending on the number of hits. But a lot of units are single hit or just 2 hits, so that's fantastic. We just built her super, super tanky to make it less likely that they're going to do that. And then she's got a taunt just to make people look at her, and it gives her defense up, and she's a defense-based unit with an up to 60% chance to stun and damage based on defense. I am telling you, the Dome Fighters are amazing, and she's a crit rate lead for guild. Dome Fighters are so good. So I'm happy about that. Sad it wasn't the witch, of course, but I am happy about that. Do we want to pull exclusives? What's the 4 stars in our exclusives this week? We already have this one. We could use a few more, of course, but we already have him. I don't know if we have him or not. He's a decent bomber. And then of course the bears are always good. He's kind of a weird bear because you don't really ever want to use skill 2, because if you're not asleep, then you get attack bar at the end of every enemy turn. If you are asleep, you lose attack bar, but you deal 5% damage to each enemy at the beginning of their turn, plus apply attack down with a 50% chance. So it's decent-ish, but in practice, you just want to keep hitting skill 1, skill 1, skill 1, and you don't want to hit skill 2, which puts you to sleep and recovers your HP, because you don't wake up from sleep and because you continually are losing attack bar. So you just want to skill 1, skill 1, skill 1, and get all that attack bar so you can interrupt the enemy. So, not horrible, not great. I think we're going to be okay with that, though. We like that. Oh, and you're going to notice, you're going to think to yourself, there's a lot of fewer mons there. That's because we had over 300, which means we opened our storage. So we go, bump. We're not putting her away. We're not putting him away. We're not putting her away. But the rest of those can get put away for now. And so I can come in here and I can pull out ones if I'm going to work on them, and I can grab, buffs and stuff. But yeah, that's where we are at the moment. It is, Monday the 11th, I think. So, if I'm telling time correctly. So we're going to go back to missions. And I'm going to keep grinding away at this, and I will see you guys tomorrow and see where we're standing on all this stuff. So, to quote everybody's favorite philosopher, be excellent to one another.